Okay, everybody, let's see. Turn down my. All right, we're live. Woohoo! Okay, hi everybody. Here we go. Let me see. I would put myself in the camera just to say hi. But let's see. There we go. Hi everybody. Let's see. There. I'll leave it on for a little bit if you just want to say hi and you can see me. Let's see. Bad hair day, but that's okay. What I'm going to be doing, you can maybe look down more at my palette here, what I'm doing. Anyway, hi there. I'm Molly, if you don't know me. And yeah, please put a little note in the chat and let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from. I would love to hear from you. And today, what we're going to do is make sure that you can hear me okay, would be great. Today, I'm going to be doing these little guys, and they're so cute. And you can do your own pets. If you read the description, you can take a picture and do your own pet. Like take a picture of the back of your pet, or just do different colors, A lot of people have, this looks like a yellow lab or something. A lot of people have yellow lab. So, and this guy, you could change this guy to anything. So anyway, this is just a fun, easy painting. And then a few days ago, I did these ornaments, which is very cute. So if you want to see that session, that live session, that was just a couple days ago. That's on my YouTube channel. I just thought this would be fun to do with maybe kids, like a last minute, gift, or just something fun to give somebody. Definitely something fun to do like with grandkids for sure. Okay, so what I have here, I already have my drawing on here. I actually just traced it because, in a hurry, and didn't really want to stress over drawing because the window, if I stress over drawing, it'll be to get the window, like the line straight. So I did use a ruler a little bit here to make sure they're straight. But anyway, so I'm actually going to be following this painting and then the reference photo that you can get from my Patreon page, patreon.com/Molly's Fine Art. You can get the reference photo there. And I'm going to turn up the light just a little bit. It's looking a little dark. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to check just. All right, so here we go. If anybody wants to say hello, I'm here. All right, so what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is, and let me just, this probably will get paint on it. Flip all over here. I've got my Christmassy holiday red blouse on today. Now this is just like my warm-up sheet. So before I make my first marks, I like to just play on and warm up. But let's talk about what I'm going to do first and the colors that I'm using. So what I'm going to do first is the outdoors, and I'm going to use cerulean blue. So that is what is in here right now. And let me just, I just want to make sure I can see the camera. Okay, technical issues out of the way. All right, so this is cerulean blue, and I'm going to be using this. I'm going to do a wet on wet technique. I'm going to be using that for the blue in the sky. Then I'm going to be using Payne's Gray, which I have another palette here. I'm going to be using Payne's Gray for the trees. Again, wet on wet, so they stay nice and blurry. And then just a little blue for the snow that's on the ground, adding a touch. I have this alizarin crimson here because if you see in the original photo, there is a touch of color like at the base of the trees. And it just gives us, like a horizon line basically. So I'm going to be doing a little alizarin on the base of the trees. Then while that dries, I'm going to go and do the wall and just get like a base coat on the wall while that all dries. After that dries, then I'll probably do the first layer on the doggies. Then I go to probably the background again. And I have my blow dryer here, my craft blow dryer here. So I will be drying things as we go. So I wanted to show you, I was playing around with colors. And this is black. I just wanted to kind of see, because there's a reflection, or because there's lights and there's this huge red bow, I kind of wanted a reflection of the red on the dogs. So I was playing around with a little red color on, the dark dog, the black dog. And so this is lamp black. Didn't like it too flat. This is, I think, lamp black with maybe a little blue, ultramarine blue. That looked a little funky. So then this, I really liked Van Dyke brown and alizarin crimson. And I think I used a touch of maybe Payne's gray. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think it was, Van Dyke brown and alizarin crimson. And a touch of, actually, I think it was just a touch of black, like for the shadows. Anyway, I really like that. So I'll be doing that. So my dog ended up being more brown than black. What's in the reference photo is more black. And then this, I really like doing this. I did a yellow, just a regular like Windsor yellow for the base coat, really light yellow. Then I did some Indian yellow and with actually another touch of alizarin crimson to get like that glow, that pretty glow. So, and then this green for the wreath is a really pretty green. I found it, well, I didn't find it, but I forget which artist said to make a beautiful green, you want to do Indian yellow and ultramarine blue. And I was having trouble finding like this really deep, rich green for the wreath. So this is what Indian yellow and ultramarine blue. It's really pretty. And then you can use some of the Indian yellow for the highlights, right? For the wreath. For this wreath, I think it's definitely over painted. I overdid it. I actually used some watercolor pencils to get a little detail on the wreath, which is good. I'll probably do that again, but the green on it, I did way too much. So I'm going to cut way back on that and leave more white. So I'll try to make, the lights more bright. I'm going to try to get the lights a little bit more glowing effect. So anyway, that's just the plan. I think this will be the third time I've painted this. I have one kind of a scratch one that I painted. So now this will be the third time. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to make sure I'm in focus here in the camera. Let me go a little. There we go. Just to make sure you can see everything. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is the sketch is a little dark for me. I did a little extra dark for the camera, but now that you've seen it, I'm going to just blot it up with my kneaded eraser, especially for this guy because he's kind of a light color. So I can see that plenty. And then the wreath, I can see it plenty. We'll just erase a lot of it. And yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Just to lighten up a little bit. Okay, so just water. This is just going to be pure water. And maybe, let's still kind of new to the whole live thing, so bear with me, right? Live, I should say live on YouTube. I do with my Patreon members, I do a live Zoom session once a month. So that's fun. But it is a little different technology with setting up for YouTube. So anyway, anywho, who cares about that, right? Okay. So I'm just getting a little water in there, and I'll just do a touch of blue in there. And I love this brush because I can get like right in the nooks and crannies. There we go. Oops, almost went into the border there. This is just, and this is cold press Arches 140-pound watercolor paper. I think I put it all in the description. I'm sorry if I forgot. You know, holiday week, I was kind of actually doing some last minute presents and gifts and trying to get everything done. Did a fun meeting yesterday with my local art council, the St. Charles Art Council, which was very fun. And a lot of art stuff in January. I don't know if you're an artist, if you do shows or anything like that, but Chicago's happening with art shows and galleries and artist receptions in January. So I think people just put it off. Shows, right? November, not very much goes on in November, December, so everybody waits till January. Okay, so you can see, all right, nice wet. So this is a good amount. Like this is wet. This is wet to damp. I'm going to get a little bit on this side so I can put a drop of blue in there. Okay, now I'm going to get my cerulean, right? Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah, this is cerulean. And just a drop because I don't want it too blue. I really want to kind of keep it white because then the trees will be more dramatic if this stays pretty white. And you can also kind of just like splatter, but this is a little too small of a space to splatter. I am going to do some landscapes where I'll do some kind of splattering type of painting. And then I'm going to just lift it up a little bit. Like I said, I don't want it too blue. I really just want a little suggestion of blue. Okay, and then now here in the snow, I'm going to bring it down so the snow has a little reflection of the sky and we can get a little suggestion of the snow. And then when it dries too, I'm going to pick up a little color and get the white of the paper back too. And then now I'm going to do, there we go. I actually have a pencil line right here in my horizon line, so I won't lose it. All right, I'm going to do just a touch of the alizarin crimson, a lot of water, and I want it while it's all still wet. And if it drips down, you know, I won't be too upset. I kind of like it. A little color. Oh, it looks like maybe a little sunset. And then, gotta get in there. If anybody has any questions, I'm kind of keeping my eye on the chat. So, yeah, and let me know where you're from, if you're watching, that'd be great. I know it's kind of a busy week for everybody, so, but I thought, well, you know, you never know has time off and wants to do a little art project and hang out, paint with me. So you just never know. All right, so I put the blue there, but I'm picking it up because I it's actually kind of cool because the reflection of the wreath is in the glass. So I don't know if I can get that through, like kind of white spots. I think I probably should have used some masking fluid, but I wanted this to be like super easy. All right, so now I'm going to go just a little more with the blue. Just try to make like some kind of snow drifts. And then, oh, right between them, we can't forget that little spot. And then this dries a lot lighter too, so I'm not too worried about going dark. Now, before this gets any drier, this is like a nice damp up here. I'm going with Payne's Gray. Okay, and it's like kind of a gray blue, kind of like a navy gray-ish. Anyway, it's perfect for, you can do Payne's Gray or you can actually do neutral tint, because these kind of, neutral tint has a little more violet in it. So you can mix them both, do whatever you want. It's art. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to just, and now I'm going to put the trunks of the trees. I'm going to not put, what do you call it, scatter them about so they're not in the same, like I don't want them lined up together, staggered. I'm staggering them. And then it's pretty dark up here, and it's kind of good that the trees are kind of more dark pronounced up here, because then you get some contrast against the wreath and the window pane. So, I don't mind it being a little darker up here. I'm going to go right up against the wreath, but I'm trying to leave a little white. And then when I'm done with that, I'm just going to probably soften the edges with a little water. If they get, up here, if it gets a little too, the edges are getting too hard. But you can see what happened over here. That's kind of cool. I'm just going to do, while it's this damp stage, I'm just going to do a couple little branches, suggestions of branches, right? But I really like this kind of fun little bleeding that's going on. You can kind of see. Really cool. Love watercolor. All right, I'm going to have to move the mic a little there. All right, so if anybody can just maybe shoot me a text, let me know you can hear me okay and everything's all good. That would be great. All right, I'm just mixing a little Payne's Gray, neutral tint, and then going, what am I doing? I'm going to go back up here and go around. There we go. Drying kind of fast. I guess I didn't get it that wet. I could tell. Drying more, it's faster, more up on the top. So I must have not gotten it that damp. And in the reference photo, there are actually curtains that are up here, and it didn't work out. For me, it just didn't look good. I couldn't really, I did them on the first one, and it just wasn't working for me. So I took them out on the other ones. I'll have to show you guys then there's the reflection of the wreath in the window over here. So I may do like a little dash of yellow, just to maybe, capture that reflection. I'm going to just do that. This was pretty dry when I put it on, and I don't want any hard edges. I want it all really soft. So cool thing about watercolor is voila. There you go. No hard edges. You don't like it, you can pick it up. Pick up the paint. Okay, and this will dry a lot different. So I'll probably do another coat. But, I wanted to do a little, I'm going to do, so I have some yellow here. A little Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do quinacridone gold. I have quinacridone gold right here. And I'm going to just drop it in, like right there. And then a touch of the quinacridone red. I don't know if it's going to come across, but as a reflection, but maybe. And then a little red in here, so it can kind of maybe come across as a reflection. I'll do the gold too. Touch of the gold here. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let that dry. And then we're going to do the wall. And the wall down here, I think I'm just going to do like a yellow ochre type of, the reference photo is kind of orangey, but I don't know. I like it a little orangey. Maybe I'll use a little bit of this Indian yellow. It's good, I think, to use kind of the same colors, like use the same yellow and use the same blue, maybe not necessarily the cerulean, but like the ultramarine I'm using with the green. Well, I could, for the wreath, I could use ultramarine blue, for the background too, for the outdoors. Totally fine to do that. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I've got a little mixture here of Van Dyke Brown and Indian Yellow. Here we go. And I'm not really going to do too... My brush is pretty wet, but I'm not going to do wet on this because I kind of want it like paint. Almost. Now I'm kind of drying my brush a little bit more. I want it a little painterly. So this is a dry brushing technique where you just kind of leave, you get like a interesting effect, boy, not thinking of the words today. Okay, and then I'm going to go in the middle. Texture is what I'm trying to say. Well, interesting texture. Okay. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing. Same amount of water on my brush. Paper's totally dry, but I'm doing the same amount. Water on this one. Dry brushing. Now this is the floor right here. So I have to decipher, right? Make sure I leave there we go. That this is a wall and this is a floor. I think that's why I kind of like the dry brushing technique on the wall, right? Kind of makes it look maybe a little bit like paint or something. Then the floor, I did the only way here, it was kind of blending together. This is really the only challenge I think I've had with this is just figure, you could see I kind of, it's a little bit of a mess there, but so I did these marks like wooden floors. So I made these marks on it because it looks like in the reference photo, it looks like the dogs are on maybe like their blanket or something. And that doesn't come across in the painting very well. So I just made some kind of like wooden floor. And that's just all with Van Dyke Brown. So I'll probably do the same thing here. So I'll just mix in and I'll do a dry brushing. So here's a little Van Dyke Brown. Let's see. I know I have this cute little palette here, but I'm not really using it very much. go. And like brown, and then this is a little yellow ochre. But I think I'm going to get a little bit more brown or burnt sienna, whatever you have, just to make it darker, just a different value, right? Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do, what am I going to do? I'm actually going to use that as a reference. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the base. I'm just going to do a base color. So I'll do this yellow. And then when it dries, I'll do darker, I'll do the wooden floor kind of effect. And I'm going to have this all covered. Yeah, I would say this was probably the only challenge. And it's not that much of a challenge. And I get in between the legs there. And then maybe just like a little space in between them because their legs are touching, but just for a little more structure. And then, let's see, there we go. Okay, good. And now how's the sky doing? How's the outdoors doing? Looks good. Looks kind of fun. Yeah. Definitely needs a little more structure in the trees. So still a little damp. I'm gonna leave it. I think I will do, since this isn't that wet, I'm going to do a really light coat with, this looks like yellow ochre. I'm going to do a really light coat of yellow ochre, and I think I'm going to add like a little bit of the red, make a little orange. So like, again, the reflection of the lights on the windowsill. So I'm going to do the windowsill now. So here's the ledge, and I'm going to do 2 coats here on the ledge, or this is underneath the windowsill. And again, this is kind of dry brushing. Go a little darker underneath there. And this is just, you don't have to, you could do this with pencil if you want to get your lines in. Because like I said, when I did the sketch, I used a ruler some of this because I was like, okay, I don't want the window to be crooked. So if you're more comfortable doing this with a pencil, like even a watercolor pencil, colored pencil, yeah, go for it. I get that. I did it, with a ruler, so I've got a good line, but nothing wrong with watercolor pencils. Okay. And this ledge kind of goes all the way out. I'll just do it all the way out. All right. Now I'm going to leave that, and then I'll do this top part of the ledge and just getting that. And yeah, I love this point. Oh, my shirt. I hope my hair isn't in the way. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, just kind of getting these lines out of the way gives me a little, so I can see what's going on. There. Get it out of the way too. And then I'll wait till the trees are done to to do up there. But see, so now this is actually going to be right here is a ledge that this guy's paw is on. So I'm going to do dry brushing with that, but I'm going to just do a really light layer, and I'm going to go a little pinker, add a little more pink, like, you know, because like it's getting the reflection of the wreath. So I'm just going to do a little alizarin, really light alizarin crimson. Or you could do opera rose, or you could do just red, Windsor red, you could do anything. That's as long as you have some values and some, you know, different colors there for your shadows. Yeah, it's not easy. There we go. Not the easiest part, but some people kind of really like this stuff. Detail stuff. I do have a lot of colored pencil artists followers, so we are definitely into the details. And I think I'm going to just go for it since I want to use the same color for this piece of wood. I'm going to just use the same color. And it gets a lot darker up here, but I can darken that later for the window pane here. And then the window pane in there is almost white, so I'm going to just save that for later. But okay, so now I've got a little bit of structure here. Let's see. I'm going to go back, actually. I want to let all that dry, and I'm going to go back to the trees are dried now. So I'm going to do some Payne's Gray, and I'm not going to use as much water. Well, I mean, this isn't going to be as wet, so it's not wet on wet. It'll be wet on hardly damp. But I do have a lot of water on my brush, and I do plan on kind of dousing it with water so I don't have any hard edges. But yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. And I just get like some branches here, just a little suggestion. There you go. Anybody watching that I know who you are? You just say hello in the comments. Okay. All right. Before that dries too much, I rinsed off my brush. Hit the bottom here. I want the definitely want the bottoms blurry, not in focus. Okay. Here we go. This is just the cutest picture, and I got it on Unsplash. So I thought I got it on Pixabay, but it's Unsplash. So unsplash.com. I mean, I think I put in holiday wreath or something, and this photo came up. So the photo, if you want, what I'm working with is unsplash.com, and then just type in a wreath or something. It's looking a little, I'm going to just do a touch up of the blue in there. It's looking a little too gray. Get a little bit of blue in there. And soften everything up. So, how's that looking? Okay. There's this great color here. It's called, I just got it. It's called Gray Lavender from Lavender Gray from Daniel Smith. It's so pretty. I don't know if it comes across in the camera very well, but it's really pretty. I think I'm just going to put a douse of it here just for like a different color instead of the neutral tint, which it's kind of, this is kind of a similar color to neutral tint because neutral tint is kind of, it's got this violety purple base to it. So, oh, you know what? There's a reflection in the window right there. I'm going to add a little gold right there. I think it would be nice just to break everything up too. A little gold and then good old quinacridone. We stick to the same colors. There. That looks kind of cool. Yeah, it's looking a little. Now that'll dry. That'll dry kind of nice, I think. Okay, so I'm moving over to this side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Neutral tint, really wet brush, kind of, you know, kind of a creamy, I would call this a creamy pigment on my brush. It's pretty creamy. Then, here we go. This side seems to have a lot more trees. And you don't need to copy it exactly at all. You can do 3 trees on there. You could do no trees. You can do whatever you want. Isn't that cool? And then there's almost like a reflection of the trees in the. So for that, I would do like more a dry brush kind of a thing, right? Soften that up with a little water. Very fun. I mean, is this not fun or what? I'm not stressing over it. It's just, this is like a fun holiday painting. Really just to have fun with. And the ornaments, I think I mentioned the ornaments at the beginning. But in case you weren't here in the beginning, I made some cute ornaments out of just like this scene with the, you know, the heads of the dogs looking out the windows. Really cute. Really fun. Something fun to do with like grandkids. I'm going to do a little bit of this lavender gray because it's just pretty. And there we go. And then we have kind of that cool reflection in the window of the wreath. I'm going to soften up the edges. Let's maybe make a little more snow caps here. Speaking of snow caps, we are not going to have a white Christmas here in Chicago. It's going to be wet. We're doing like a Seattle Christmas, I think, because it's going to be like 50 and rain. So, yeah. Not really complaining, honestly, but you know, it's really nice to have a white Christmas. Okay. I'm not too worried about getting blue because these guys, they're going to be covered. Their color will cover any blue that gets on them. Their fur. Okay, so I pretty much lost my horizon line. Let's see if I can get it back. This is going a little. I may have to wait. I think I got it here. I'm going to use a little bit of the blue. Yeah, I think this white right here. There we go. Just cover that. I think that white part was throwing it off. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is damp. So my brush doesn't have any paint on it. I'm just going to do that. And then let it dry and see if my horizon line comes back. Which is fine. It will. Okay. Let's switch waters here. This water's pretty brown, so I have another water right here ready to go. Tissue, blotting. I made a mess. Okay. Fun. Any questions so far? Let's see. Anybody there? Hello? Anybody watching? Okay. I'm going to just grab a quick sip of water. I'm going to dry because I can't really do the dogs. I can't really do the wreath, and I want to do something fun. I'm going to start something fun. So I'm going to dry. So sorry for the noise, but here we go. I have to dry. I'm actually going to pick up a little bit as I dry. There we go. I'm going to pick up then. I don't want it to... I want this tree to come down a little farther. There we go. That can go down. I want them staggered. I don't want them all even. Yeah. That's good. That's nice. Okay. Probably gonna do the dogs, I think, next. Kind of safe. Yeah, hot. That's hot. Holy crap. That gets hot. Okay. Alright, let's do the doggies. Alright, I'm gonna switch brushes. So I'm gonna do this guy first, because this guy, I'm gonna let him dry a little bit more. The yellow, the golden retriever, I think he is. So if you could totally do these with pencils, right? Watercolor pencils. This is the Aquarelle Caran d'Ache. You can just do the yellow for a base coat, and then do chestnut for the darker colors, and then a little like yellow ochre, and blend it all together, and you'd be good. You'd be fine. I mean, that's really just those three colors. And then of course his collar, I think I did mine blue. Yeah, I kind of did it blue. So, but for right now, I'm going to just do, I think it's a little faster too, if I just paint. So I'm going to do, this is just Hansa, yeah, this is Hansa Yellow Light. Let me make sure, sorry, let me just double check the camera. Okay, I want to make sure you can see. Hansa Yellow Light right here. And I am going to just wet him a little bit so you can see, kind of purposely put the yellow on there so you can see, but there's not much at all. And then the top of his head, actually I'm going to leave it kind of white, and then I always have a tissue to blot when I, make a mistake. So I always have a tissue on me, unless it's a happy mistake. So let's see. Yeah, I probably should have erased a little bit more because I really want the highlight of outdoors on the top of his head, but I can scrub that off with a scrubber. This would be kind of a cool little tip here. So here is a scrubber, and I have all different sizes of these. Now you got to make sure your paper is wet, just as wet, and your scrubber is wet. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And you want to go really light. And what you do is just, so this, I'm just getting rid of my graphite pencil mark that just got kind of embedded in there with the water. I should have erased it a little more. There, I don't mind the outline, but I want the top of his head to have like a little glow. So I just use that scrubber. I'm just going to hit it with a little more water, and maybe the blue, maybe we'll do a little cauliflower effect there. So I'm going to just leave that. Let that spread out. Let me see. Let me just, there, pick up a little bit. Okay, so I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's still wet, and it's kind of hopefully pushing this blue back a little bit. So anyway, so that's like a little mistake, right? That's just a little something to fix. Always have your scrubber handy. If you don't have a scrubber, then just use like a really firm brush, like a cheapy brush. You want to use a good brush and scrub with a good brush. Don't do that. Okay, and then here's kind of another area. I could probably scrub a little bit. I went a little bit too far in, but that's okay. I'm just gonna do that, and voila, I've got some yellow, which is where I want, because I want this side, because the light from the wreath is coming down, so I want this side kind of glowing on this guy, and then this side kind of glowing on this guy. So basically the light is coming from over here, up here. Oops, I got some red on there. Okay. So that's why I really want this yellow on this side. I don't really mind that part of there's a little graphite over here, but that's okay because it needs a little, I'm probably going to paint out, get some kind of fur brush strokes there. So anyway, all right, so let's speed this up here. All right. Just a little base coat for this guy. Then while it's wet, I think what I'm going to do is a little bit of this really bright yellow. I think, is this Indian yellow? I think this is Indian yellow. Just base coat. It's going to, I'm going to go a lot darker over it. So this will kind of come through. Hopefully, just to keep his coat bright underneath when I do like the Van Dyke brown or burnt sienna, burnt umber over it. Oh, this side's going to be pretty dark. So here we go. Just drop some water on there, get a nice soft look, soft effect. Okay, so there's that guy. All right, and let's see. Let's make sure we're in camera here. Okay, so the mixture for this guy was Van Dyke brown. Here, I'll put it right here so you can see. I'm just going to grab some brown from over here. I wanted it kind of different from the yellow. I wanted a contrast. So I wanted it dark, but the black, I think, it was a little too dark for when I was testing it out. Okay, so there's brown. I'm going to add a touch of blue, ultramarine, to get like a creamy kind of a black, and then maybe, well, I'm going into the red. There you go. You kind of have like a chocolate, which is real pretty. Okay, so this is dry. It's okay. My brush is pretty wet. I'm going to leave the top of his head white because I'm going to do the alizarin crimson. I don't want to just get the edges here. I'm going to do the alizarin crimson for the highlights of the wreath. Okay. All right, add a little more water and then bring it down. Okay. Tilt it a little bit. Excuse me for the sniffles. It's that time of year. Okay, I'm going to wet here a little bit. This left side's going to be darker. I'm going to just kind of save a spot here. I'm not going to put any color because I'm just going to drop the alizarin crimson right in there. So I'm just kind of getting the the outline. And again, you could do this with a pencil. Probably be easier for getting the lines. It's just, I think this is just kind of faster to do it this way for a live sesh. Okay, now I'm going to grab a little Azarium Crimson and drop it in there. Then when I go over that with brown, with my mixture here, I actually come through a little bit. Okay, let me do a little more of my mixture. It's pretty creamy mixture. But this area is really wet now, so, but that's nice. That's perfect. So I'm putting it on this side. As you can see, I'm dropping it in on this side because this side's going to be a lot darker. And I want to get some kind of muscle, like anatomy here. Muscle. Oh, and then the tail. Put the tail in later. After this dries, got to do the tail. And I'm keeping this side lighter. Got to do his head. Let's see here. Yeah, you can do your own dog's ears. You know, if your dog has pretty specific or recognizable ears, you could do those, like say Dobie's, right? You could put the ears up like a Doberman's kind of thing. And then there. Keep a highlight on the top. All right. Okay, I'm going to let that dry because that red will dry a lot later. Great. Okay, while those guys dry, I think what I'm going to do is go to the wreath because this is all dry now. And I'm going to go back to using my pointy brush for the wreath because I like the brush marks that it gives in the wreath. So although I think this wreath is overdone, I'm not going to do as much of that, and I'm going to try to leave as much white as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is a mixture of this green and yellow. I think what I'll do is I'll take out, well, I'll just put it right there so you can kind of see it. Move my water over here. See, there we go. So this is Indian yellow, ultramarine blue. Makes a really rich kind of a pine green. Very pretty. But what I'm going to do first is the yellow. I want to get this yellow nice and creamy. And I'm going to wet the paper, or I'm going to wet the wreath. I'm going to drop in the yellow and then drop in the green and just kind of see what happens. So this is going to be kind of a loose wreath, not going to be as much detail as I have the other one. So just putting water in there. Anybody has any questions, or if anybody's even watching, thank you. Okay, it's kind of the middle of the day on a Wednesday before Christmas, so I'm sure people have other things to do, but hey, you can watch the replay, right? This is actually really good practice for me because I like to do live sessions and teaching, so this is kind of more about practice for me. All right, now I'm going to grab some of this Indian yellow, and just kind of drop it in there. And I like the, I'm kind of looking for this hazy effect because I want it to look like the lights are, bright, the reflection of lights. So it's hard to, I have my reference photo on my iPad, so I can't the actual reference photo. It was kind of hard to describe it. You just kind of have to see it. So what I'm going to do now, and this was kind of hard to do with a brush, but I'm going to try. I actually saw an artist do this with just put paper towel, right? Oh yeah, that guy's really wet. Maybe I shouldn't, because this guy's still really wet. I forgot. I'll try not to touch it. Paper towel, and then just spray so I get like the blurriness. Whew, there we go. And then pick it up. Kind of want the misty look is what I'm trying to go for the lights. Experimenting. Just experimenting. And it's really the funnest part with watercolor. You just really never know what's going to happen when you put down the paint. Okay. I might do a little bit of a Lazarian. Oh, just a touch of red in there, why not? And then this is going to be red, so I might as well just, from the ribbon, just let all that bleed. Okay, leave that. And then I'm going to do the green a little bit more like leaves, the pines. Just going to blot, keep some of this really white. There. All right, so then I add the green, and it'll look okay. It'll look all right. I'm going to go back to this guy. Grab my other brush. And, okay. I'm going to go with the Van Dyke Brown. Okay. For this time, add a little bit of this. No, that's right. I tried that color before. I didn't like it. And like brown and Indian yellow, I didn't like. All right, little brown matter. There we go. Okay, I think I got some kind of a color I like. All right, sorry to keep you waiting here. I got a little quinacridone gold on here with a little brown matter, which is like a rustic red. I'm going to get the ears. Now I'm doing my midtones. So doing midtones. This might turn into a reddish dog. Thought I was going to do more orange. But again, I want kind of the reflection of the wreath, so it'll be fine. then let's just do a little bit of, make it look like a little bit of fur. Let's start getting a little structure in there. Okay. Great. Excellent. And then keeping this side light. So I'm going to purposely drop water right in there to make it soft. Maybe do a little cauliflower effect. I think that's kind of cool. That makes dogs, look like a little fur. Grabbing a little more quinacridone gold. And going to do it down here. And I'm just kind of going a little crazy. I'm going to get the fur. This looks like it's a golden lab. Now I'm going to do a little brown while I have it kind of wet. It's really not that wet, so let's get it a little more wet. His shadow back here. I want this side to be the darker side, so I'm going to just kind of leave that. Let that dry. Okay. Let's get a little color in there. There, a little reflection from the wreath. Kind of a pretty golden color, golden earthy color for this guy. Then he's got, I'm gonna grab my yellow, just the yellow that I used for the base coat for this guy. And I want to kind of do the highlight on his head, and I may end up, when it's finished, I may end up doing just like a touch of gouache or something here. I don't know. There. I'll just kind of leave that. And then I wanted to do a little red for the wreath right there. If you look in the reference photo, there are, I don't know if the photographer put them in or if they just are kind of naturally like that. I think it's kind of naturally there, but the reflection of the lights, like there's like dots of the lights are on the doggy's fur. So it's kind of cool. But I mean, I don't know if I could do that with watercolor. Maybe with colored pencil it'd be easier, but not with watercolor. Okay, so now I'm gonna I just noticed that the wall between his legs needs to be finished. There you go. Okay, so the wreath is drying. Any questions or anything so far? Hi, everybody. Let me know where you are in the chat. Please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay, so the wreath is still kind of wet. It's damp. So I think what I'm going to do is I want some of the green to blend in with this yellow. So I have this really cool green, again, Indian yellow with ultramarine blue. I'm going to get some of this kind of creamy on my brush and kind of dark. I'm putting a lot of blue in there. And I'm going to just, it's damp. So I'm going to just drop it in there. See what happens. Yeah, it's pretty, it's almost dry. So that's okay. Okay, a little more water. And then just get some of the edging just to kind of get like the structure of the wreath. I really like this. And I'll add a little more of the, this is Indian yellow. And let me see, the wreath is right there. So this goes like here. A little more blue. Put my camera. Yeah. There you go. Okay. And a little bit more down here. Add a touch of the yellow. All right. I did, up here, I did kind of like how it turned out. So I was trying to get the reflection of the wreath on the glass in the window. I mean, you probably wouldn't know if I didn't tell you what that was, but I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. I know. A little more ultramarine, blue, and I love this brush. It kind of gives like, kind of looks a little piney, right? And then one more little spot here, and then I'm going to douse with a little water to blend them out, and then let that dry and go back like one more time, probably with the green. So I'm purposely doing this. I kind of want a little cauliflower effect. So I'm kind of purposely, and I want different values of the green. Adding some water. There we go. I've got the wreath right there. Okay. And down here. There. So that's kind of like the mid values of the wreath that I'm trying to go for, right? Then I'll do another layer with the green, a darker green, and hopefully it'll look okay. But I'm not going to do, this was, I think, too much green. I'm trying not to do that again. I'm trying just to keep it a little brighter, like, and I'm going to keep more white showing. So, okay. Okay, so, let that dry. I'll probably do the wreath with the pencil, with the watercolor pencil, because it's easier. Get some, and then, just to get the edges. So this guy dried okay. These guys are drying okay. I think, again, while they're still a little damp, I'm going to go in and do one more layer with them. Get my other brush. Yeah. Using this brown. This is like a Van Dyke brown. A little ultramarine blue. To get like a nice chocolatey brown. I'm just going to do, like, there's a muscle from his hand. Oh, and I forgot to put his paw there. I don't know about his paw. Kind of sticking out over there. It kind of, if it comes across okay. I'd love to know what you think. See how in the reference photo you can see his paw, and it's a real photo, so it's happening. But I tried to get it here. Maybe it just needed to like be a little darker right there, like come down a little bit, more attached to his body. But I don't know if it comes across okay. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. So let me know what you think. I'm kind of keeping my eye on the comments a little bit. There we go. Then after this dries just a little bit, I'll finish up the wall here. Oh, I have to do the floor. Remember I was going to do like the little wood paneling there on the floor. I'm going to do that next. So yeah, I mean, this is small. This is I think it's a 5x5 on cold press watercolor. 140 pounds. And you can see I'm just hopping around. Oh, we got to do his tail. You can see I'm just kind of hopping around. Actually, I'm going to do his tail when I'm finished with this guy because I'm going to go over it. Get his leg. Yeah, just hover. This area dries and that area, and this area dries, that area. So that's kind of what you do in watercolors. Because you got to be patient. Oh, I'm sorry if I was out of camera there. You got to be patient and let the paper dry. I think when I get in the biggest trouble is when I go keep working it and the paper's still wet. You know, you kind of got to just like, okay, walk away, you know. So this is what I'm going to do for the floor right here. So this isn't in the reference photo. In the reference photo, they're on like their little blanket or something, but it doesn't come across in a painting. I couldn't really, you know, I just needed like a floor. So I did some like darker little streaks to make it look like a wood floor, right? So I'm just going to add a little more Van Dyke brown, a little blue. It's too dark. Let me just get plain Van Dyke brown. I've got another palette over there. Let's see, how about just like a little. That's good. Sorry, if I'm out of camera. Okay, so I'm going to just. So at an angle, so just go for it. Just do one there. One there. I don't want them like really, you know how like hardwood floors are uneven? Or like one stops in the middle and one starts. I don't know. I don't want them too perfect. Okay. And then I'll do a little line there. Well, looks like I'm going to kind of get. There. So just so you know, that's a floor. It's not, you know, it just kind of gives it a little, you know, it's not part of the wall. That's what I was having trouble with in the first one I did. I was like, it just looked like one big mosh. And then let me just do a little bit over here. Just to even it out. There we go. Do I have them the same angle? I don't know. There. Okay, and let's just get a little darker in here. Okay. There you go. All right, so we've got that. Why don't we finish? Well, this guy's looking good. You know what I'm going to do? I have a feeling he's damp. I'm just going to put a touch of water, drop right on there, and hopefully I'll get like that kind of cool cauliflower effect, and that might look like fur. So let me just double check my camera, make sure we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna do the collar. I'm gonna do the collar on. Go a little blue gray here. Do the collar on this guy. There we go. Just leave that. And then I think I'm going to go green for the collar for this guy. A little green yellow. Let's do a little more yellow for the base. Whoops, got a lot of yellow on the brush there. Wow. There we go. I'll just leave like that. Just so there's some kind of highlight, and then I'll go over it again with a darker color green when it dries. I think I'll do kind of a little dark, a little brown, brown. Okay. All right. So, what are you thinking? Oh, let's do the purplish red. I'm gonna do watercolor pencil, scarlet, and sharpen it. Sorry for the noise. Okay, while that's drying, I need a little structure here with the wreath. So here is a ribbon. I really love this ribbon. All right, and it's still kind of damp. There we go. So you kind of have the fold. Here's a fold. This is darker. It's a fold. Here is fold. Okay. Then it kind of goes around there. And I can make this red a little darker. It's actually pretty orangey in the reference photo, but this is just all I have is scarlet and a red, so scarlet it is. I think I just put my finger in there. Okay. So in this one has some stripes, which is nice for some definition. So I can do that. Stripe, and then I like that there's yellow in this one. Whoops, got wet. So I'm gonna do just kind of yellow, and then red stripe. And it's curved, make it a little curved. I have this purplish red. I think I'm just gonna use this need a darker value. It's definitely still damp, so